Hello there. We're working on this portrait of Moses, Aaron, and Hur, this 30 by 40, so close to being done. And today I'd like to show you how to paint mountains and hills with the acrylic glazing technique. Now, this portrait is in process, or this painting is in process, so I wouldn't be able to show you the entire process of this, but I do want to show you what I'm working on right now, and hopefully there's some techniques that could be a little bit beneficial to you. So here are the hills right now that I'm working on. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And I'm just putting in these mountainous scenes here and using a variety of colors. I've got titanium white, I've got pyro orange, I've got Indian yellow, a little bit of naphtha red, a bit of ultramarine blue, and raw umber dark. And so what we want to do is make these hills look as if they're in the distance and get the right form on there. I'm taking a small round brush and I'm just adding a few nuances here. My reference photo really doesn't have what I'm looking for, so I've had to invent quite a bit of this. So here I'm going to add some pyro orange and a bit of Indian yellow and just get a nice highlight here. So we want to be cognizant when we're painting mountains, you know, where the light source is at. And so that's going to determine, you know, kind of the patterns we're going to create. We want to make sure that they are, as much as possible, very much receded in the distance. So, you know, I use a lot of cool tones. Mistake many artists make when they're painting mountains is they make them too dark and the colors are too vivid. You know, they'll use brown or something. You want to make sure, you know, you're using a blue or something like that in most cases, and not straight blue, but a blue, you know, that you mix yourself. And here on my palette you can see I've got, it's kind of almost a grayish blue color, and it's got ultramarine blue and naphtha red and a bit of pyro orange and titanium white, and then a bit of raw sienna, all these different colors that kind of just mix a grayish tint. And then we get that optical mix. We're going a little bit lighter for the highlights, and we want to make sure that these highlights, that the color is not too strong, you know, and we also want the shape of these patterns to be correct. So, you know, you've got some of these mountains cutting in front of the other ones, so you've got, you know, opposing angles, and that really helps a lot in creating the hills. We've got an area where, because it's in shadow, it's obscuring this other mountain behind it, and it creates these really interesting forms. You don't want things to look too patterned, you know. So on this other side, between Moses' arms and face, we've got a little bit of detail I want to put in there, and for that I'm using a slightly darker color. You see I've got lighter colors on the left, darker colors on the right, and I'm adding a little bit of a warmer tint here and just placing that in. Alright, and we're going to just continue and add a bit of highlights to the middle of the mountain. So we want to imagine that overall it's darker on this right hand side and lighter on the left over there. We have more highlights on this side because the light source is shining up from the left hand side slightly above, and so that is going to, you know, make this profile of the mountain more in highlight than the other side. So again, that's why we're having just a little bit darker here. We want to use a color that's just a bit lighter in value and a little bit warmer in tone than what we currently have there. Now let's go back to that other side, and we will have to shift the color over just a bit. Go with a little bit of a lighter, kind of a titanium white added to this kind of mauve color. Warm it up now because we're going lighter with some pyro orange, and that's important. And then we're just going to fill in a couple of gaps here We'll work all the way over on that far left side and just get some of these areas, putting in a little bit of halation, a warmer color where it's just a little bit where you have that juxtaposition between the shadows and the lighter highlights. We just want to get that in. We'll put a little bit of halation on the other side as well. So it's just that slight warm tone at that break where we have the division between the contrast, and that just gives it a little more vibrance, and it puts it into the distance just a bit more as well. Now that effect can easily be overdone. We don't want to do it, or overdo it, sorry, but just enough, just enough. Fill this other side a little bit. Yeah, that's good. All right, we'll stop off right here. You can see what we've done, and yeah, it's really coming along. So anyway, I hope that these tips helped you out here in so far as painting mountains goes in the acrylic glazing technique, adding highlights and how to do that. And so I really hope this video has been beneficial to you. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Check out my other tutorials at realisticacrylic.com, and I would love to connect with you there. But thank you so much for watching this video. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.